Okay, here I am. It's me. Guys, I'm nervous. This is like my third take, and I told myself, like, you're not gonna record again. Like, you're not gonna get up out of the seat and restart that camera, like, not one more time, because I'm over myself. Like, let's make this thing real and get out of my head about it, okay? Okay. Now, welcome to the Mental Wealth Agenda podcast, a platform created to normalize conversations around mental health and realistic self-care. I am the creator and host, Shadia, aka Dia. If you don't know me by now, welcome and nice to meet you. I really appreciate you tuning into today's podcast episode. Now, today is actually the first episode, and it's really just going to be an introduction to the mental wealth agenda. It's going to include a little bit of background information about me for those who don't know me, get to know me on a more personal level before we start really getting to the agenda. Today's episode will also go into a little bit of detail about how exactly I ended up here, my professional journey, and what led me to being sitting here right here behind this camera. So let's get into it. So like I said, my name is Shadia. I also go by Dia. I have other nicknames too, but that's for a different episode. I don't even know what to say, y'all. Isn't it always the hardest thing to introduce yourself? Like, I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. That's currently where I live still as an adult. I'm the youngest of 4 girls. I'm the last one without children, so, like, not to brag or nothing, but, I am out here without kids. I graduated from Heidelberg University in 2021 with a degree in English literature and a degree in psychology. So, I know a lot of people have never heard of Heidelberg University, but if you know, you know. If you don't, then you're like most of the country, so join the team. Guys, I had to write out like a few cue cards because I have recorded a few drafts that were low-key all over the place, and the scholar in me did not like that. So, what else? Hello. So the tea is I'm recording inside of my apartment's clubhouse. Like, it's real spacious and nice and everything. But the thing is, when I recorded in the office, it was too small, so it was too much echo going on. And now I'm recording out here in the lobby space, meaning people will probably be coming here and there sometimes, I'm kind of close to the bathroom, so maybe I might regret that. That don't have anything to do with y'all though, so come on, let me get back to let me stay on topic here. Like I said, with these cue cards. Now, some things that I like to do in my free time, if you know me, I like to read a lot. I've always liked reading, ever since a little girl. Since my degree was in literature though, I definitely stopped reading for a full year after graduating because I was just so burnt out on reading and writing. So last year was my year of getting back into reading. This year I've already finished one book and I'm halfway through another book, and I'm about, just getting into another book as well. So reading, that's a good thing. Writing, I like writing poetry. I have some plans to publish some things this year, including research and creative writing, short stories. So just know I'll be doing a lot of writing. I also like to go to the gym. If you know me, I'll be lifting up weights, I'll be throwing them around. No, I'm just kidding, but I do like to lift weights, and I try to stay consistent with my physical health in that way. And another thing I'm passionate about is mental health, which literally brought me here today. I've always really been interested in mental health and psychology. I think In middle school, I first said that I wanted to become a therapist, and that was something that I really focused on for, continued to have that dream or that goal, if you would say. And I don't know, I think a part of me just gravitated towards mental health and psychology because that just really wasn't a topic that anyone ever discussed with me in detail. Like, no one ever really took the time to talk about emotional self-care or emotional wellness. And I just felt like, I don't know, I didn't really realize the importance of it, obviously, because no one was talking about it. But I also didn't realize how important it would become later on to like pay attention to your thoughts and your emotions. So, yeah, like my interest in psychology and mental health really started really young. I was literally in middle school when I said that I wanted to become a therapist. I also realized that a lot of us didn't have people to talk to in like a safe space, and coming from the community I come from, I realized by, like 13, 14, people are already writing out our entire stories of like, oh, this person is going to be, this kid is going to be terrible. Oh, he's going to be in jail. He's going to be this, he's going to be that, which sometimes it is. I mean, it's a direct reflection of people being a product of their environment, but that's the problem. Like, you can address someone in their environment and allow them to not become a direct product of it. So that's a little bit of where my passion started in mental health. So that realize, and that toilet just flushed, so I'll probably have to I'm gonna just pause till she comes out. How about that? Okay. You know what, guys? I realized the AC had been blowing that whole time. So just know this entire process is like gonna be me getting better and better every time. I thought it was somebody coming around the corner again. I don't know. So where was I? Now, my passion, I thought I had put myself on the path to become a therapist, right? So I'm like, okay, I just make that my focus. I get to college, I major in psychology because I'm like, well, that's gonna be my focus. I didn't know too much about, I really didn't know too much about like different degrees besides psychology to become a therapist. So for example, what I know now is that I would have been better off getting my bachelor's in social work instead of psychology, or even double major between the two. But a social work degree would have benefited me a lot more, but that's neither here nor there. That's really for a different episode. So I graduate with a degree in psychology. I picked up the English major just for the simple fact of studying literature in college. My professor asked if I was interested in, minoring or majoring, double majoring in English, just because of how well I was able to analyze literature within our first, few weeks of coming in contact with each other. So I was like, yeah, might as well. If I'm gonna wanna be reading all the books anyways, I might as well just come out with a degree for it. I didn't have any intention on any of this, like podcasting, media writing, blogging, or anything. I really was just like, might as well take it if I'm gonna wanna do the things and read the stuff anyway. So I come out with 2 degrees. My literature degree is on the back burner. I'm not focused on doing anything with it. So I start working. My first career experience with my degree was inside of the halfway house. So I'm literally 22 working inside of the halfway house in Columbus. I'm working with people twice my age, people 3 times my age, and even people that I went to middle school with. Like, some of my own peers were coming in as clients at times. So that's an experience that we could get into on a different episode if y'all want to know about my experience as someone working in the halfway house. But I work in there doing cognitive behavioral programming. At one point I was doing like programming and case management just because of staffing things. So I worked there for about 6 months, not really messing with it. Really, it was the organization. It was like, you know, the people, not the clients that we were serving. But I transferred out of there and I started working doing behavioral programming with children in family and systems treatment. So we're working with children of women in recovery or women, addicted women who are going into recovery. So long story short, I'm still working in like the social work area with behavioral and substance use and corrections as well. So like I'm still like in that field. When I get over to my second position, that title was a therapeutic case manager. So when I got into that role, they had contracted someone for my clinical supervision and training. This was somebody that was completely independent. It was just someone that was familiar with another employee of the organization. I'm making this really long, but y'all follow me on this. I start working in the same organization with someone from the outside. So she comes on board and is being paid to be my trainer, my clinical supervisor. So, you know, as we're getting acquainted, she's like, you know, always telling me how much clinical insight I have, you know, how confident she is in me, how confident I should be in myself, my abilities, this, that, and the third, everything like that. Basically, we're just really getting along, and it's really like motivating. And eventually, she also has her own business. So eventually she gets a contract through the city to do support workshops for traumatic grief. I'm like, okay, she invites me to be on the contract with her. I'm like, okay, great. Like, yeah, this is great, a great opportunity for me. So we're working in there. I eventually start, you know, being ready to move on from the organization completely. So she helped me move from that organization, and she actually hired me in her downtown office. So I go from working under her in a different organization, and she's like independent downtown. We go from this status to us working together on a contract through the city of Columbus while I'm still working at this organization, to us working together in her company. So I'm working under her in the same position that I was at the other organization, but I'm only for her private practice and still doing the city of Columbus contract on the outside. All of a sudden, y'all, just like this, she just wakes up and fires me. Like, she wakes up and fires me just on the spot. I wake up asking about the money that we're expecting from our contract. You know, it's like, don't expect me to not expect my money, right? She fires me, like, no further explanation, no further conversation, no further contact. Mind you guys, like I said, she's just encouraged me to do, you know, like to align myself with her in these ways. Otherwise, I wouldn't be at her company. You know, we could get really into that in a different episode, but I tell you all that to say that experience there has led me here directly, because all this time I kept aligning myself with this person, because she is actually a successful businesswoman, a successful social worker in Columbus, in Ohio, in the region in general, right? Like, she holds her weight, and she is a really hard worker, and like, she demands the space that she takes up, and I give that to her. However, this woman was also telling me, I remember me literally, going through something emotional, and I remember her being on the phone saying, Shadia, I know that I'm twice your age, and I know this is a professional relationship, but you have to understand that I am your friend. You have to understand that you have to lean into the support that you have at the moment while you're looking for your own friends, while you're looking for peers of your own age. I care so much for you. So this was a big shocker for me. It was a big shocker for me. I was like, what do I do? At this point, I was literally very in the beginning of my therapy journey. So I'm with my therapist and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've spent all this time aligning myself with this one person, with this one business, and now I don't mean anything to them at all. I don't mean anything to her. I don't mean anything to the business. I want to go out here to the streets and slander this business down to the ground and let them know the person that she is, right? I actually didn't end up doing any of that. But it led me to having my first epiphany in therapy, which I realized, social media is different than it was back in 2010 when I first said, I'm going to be a therapist. And I said, I don't need a master's degree to come out here and speak about mental health and taking care of yourself in ways that no one has been saying all of this time, right? Another thing was I realized the fact that there were so many people out here that aren't even at the point of understanding the power of therapy or the need for therapy. So I was also just like, I could be a therapist and help, maybe 5 people around my community within a few years, compared to me being on social media as not as a therapist, but as someone who has been in the same community that you're in right now and felt the same ways that you felt right now, and also didn't have anyone to have the conversations that we're having right now. It's different if I'm a therapist telling you all of this stuff compared to me literally being your next door neighbor telling you, I see you and I feel you and I hear you and I understand your struggle and the ways to work yourself out of this struggle. Because quite frankly, I didn't hear anyone of my age saying these things. So that was another reason that I was like, I guess I do need to be on a podcast, because everyone out here is 30, 35 plus talking about self-care and self-help, but where are the people that's my age? And it also made me understand how I had been suppressing the creative in me. As soon as I had that idea of becoming a therapist, I stopped writing poetry as much. I stopped writing short stories. I stopped just engaging in a lot of different things just because it was like tunnel vision. I was like, I gotta become a therapist, so I don't have time to do all of these other different things because I need to focus on being a therapist. It's the reason that I didn't come into college as a double major, even though I came out as one. And so I was like, wow, I could use my English degree and my psychology degree to put out messages that people need to hear from people that look like me or have been where I have been. And it's like all of these different factors all together really pushed me to be here where I am right now today. And I don't want to feel like I'm rambling and I don't want to be redundant or repetitive, but y'all, come on now. Honestly, it's so many people out here talking about self-care and self-help and mental health, and y'all, they don't know a single thing about what they're talking about. And I also feel that a lot of people are making light of trauma because they don't really understand it at a psychological level, and they don't understand how deep it really is to look at your traumas in those ways. I was watching a YouTube video about, like taking the step to become a content creator or become a creator in general. And she's like, one of the questions someone asked her about like imposter syndrome, and she's like, yeah, you just gotta let that go. You just gotta know that you're that girl. That, like, imposter syndrome has never been that simple. And so I was like, too many people are playing around about mental health out here. They're wanting to be perceived as someone that knows what they're talking about when it comes to mental health, when really they haven't even done the work themselves. And I'm not saying I've done all the work, I'm just saying that, like, I know a little bit enough for us to be headed in the right direction together as a community of people who have been silenced about their own feelings, their experiences, their mental health, and a community of people who know they want to do better than the last generation, but they can't really figure out how to do that. And that's really what the mental wealth agenda will be about. The people that want change in their life, who may not exactly know what needs to be changed or what change they even might want for themselves. So I don't know, I just really I could just ramble about it all day long, and I don't want to do that. So let me start wrapping this thing up. My plans for the mental wealth agenda, like I said, realistic conversations about mental health and self-care, period. And I don't mean it in a way of me sitting down on a podcast talking about how fake friends are and how to deal with shitty relationships and not letting anything get to you, because no, I let things get to me as well. I'm only 24, so it's not just all fine and dandy. I can't just always see the positive side, but that's the realistic part about it. I'm not just always going to come on here with a clear mind, with a positive headspace. Yes, some days are going to suck, and I'm someone living with anxiety, so some days I might not really have too much positivity to push out there, but I'm at least gonna let you guys know, hey, some days are harder than others, and today I'm having a hard day, but hey, at least I'm still here. And if anybody has anything nice to say to me, then please just send it my way. And that's really the type of community that I'm looking for when it comes to the agenda. People able to have conversations even when they're upset, even when they're sad, even when they're happy, and everyone continuing to uplift each other and show each other different ways to think a little bit better, to make yourself feel a lot better. As far as the schedule, release schedule and format, as you guys can see, well, hopefully everyone's watching this on video. Maybe this is going to be released as a video podcast episode on YouTube, and then it'll also be released as audio. I plan on having at least 2 episodes a month, so a bi-weekly release type of deal. And with, like I said, I'm hoping for everything to just continue to improve. I am such a beginner at all of this technological stuff, and y'all don't even want to know about all of the technical difficulties that I've went through, technical difficulties every 5 minutes. It even got to the point, y'all, I restart my phone one day, I turn it back on, it's telling me my camera ain't even an iPhone camera. The camera in my phone, it said it wasn't an iPhone camera. I had to go and get my whole camera replaced. That's how much the devil has been trying to stop this agenda. But unfortunately, this is all I know. This is all I know. This is all my passion lies in. So, we gonna figure it out anyway. But yeah, like I was saying, the format, I'm hoping for a visual and an audio every month. If I have a guest, I'm definitely going to go for visual, but I'm also going to be releasing some shorter audio sometimes. For example, affirmations, holiday affirmations, beginning of the month or ending the month affirmations, those type of quick little episodes that you can just listen to in the morning, little 5-10 minutes, different things like that. And who knows, honestly, I might have a lot more in me than I'm mentioning right now. I just don't want to put too much on my plate and then let everyone down. So before I end this thing, I want to remind y'all to find me on every social media account that there is out there, except for like Snapchat. So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X. I actually do have an X account, but I don't even think I've posted on there yet. I'm getting my Pinterest set up because I make a lot of graphics, and I figure that they'll be doing good on Pinterest. And soon enough, I will be writing blogs, so I'll have a corresponding blog post for every episode that I release, just because I know that some people don't even like podcasts. Some people just like to read, and vice versa. So I'm trying to get get the agenda out in different forms of media as well. So go ahead and find us on literally any platform that you use regularly and share with everyone you love. So before I start embarrassing myself, I'm just going to say that mental health is true wealth and healing is my agenda, and I'll catch y'all the next time.